You're listening to Mark of the Maker. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Steiner and you're listening to Mark of the Maker. And this is episode 100 of the podcast. That's what I was looking for. Cheers from the crowd.
How the fuck did that happen?
That is a great question. How did that happen? We'll talk a little bit about how that happened, I think, when we get there. So let's talk about who we have here with us. We got I think in the vast majority of our episodes, we have the same crew, but we always like to introduce everybody. So we have Mr. Michael Birch.
Here.
We have Mr. Sean Kendrick.
Hey, hey.
And we have Mr. Tom Crine.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we got to thank our friends on Patreon, Patreon.com. Patreon's a way people can support stuff that they like. And apparently people like Mark of the Maker because we have a number of Patreon supporters. So if you want to support the show or donate a couple bucks to keep us moving, that's the place to do it, or the easiest way to do it. I think we still have a PayPal button on our website. I think that's the option if people don't want to do Patreon, actually. Yeah, it's out there. So there's a couple ways to do it. If you want to help support the show, you can always find us at markofthemaker.com. Or if you go to Patreon and search for Mark of the Maker, you can find us there. There's a bunch of different tiers of support at different dollar per month kind of levels. And there's one called the Collaborator tier. That's our top tier. And very generous folks. We have a number of them in there who participate, and oftentimes we'll ask them for help picking a topic for an episode or suggestions for guests, or we actually reached out to them about something, however, we'll get to in a few minutes. And kind of a fun way to stay engaged with people and let some folks who are true believers in the show help sort of form what we do. And so something worth checking out if you like that. And we want to say again, thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Sean, you want to take her from there?
Hey, guys. This is your old buddy, Sean, and I'm just here to remind you that American Metal Exchange has all the exotics you could ever want and or need. Head over to AMX Inc. and get Moku Tai, Moku Mei, Dark Tai, Kenobi Tai, any of the various exotic alloys that you could possibly want. George has it all, and the shipping is always free. So head on over to amxinc.com and tell them Sean sent you. That's amxinc.com.
Damn, that was smooth.
It's always smooth.
Have you been practicing in front of a mirror?
No, I was just feeling it, man.
Yeah, that's nice.
That just flowed through me. It's like I wasn't even
mess this one up then. I don't want to.
Follow that, Birch.
It's also brought to you by our friends Nick and our...
Oh my gosh, it's off the rails already.
Shit. Nick and Billy's show, the Pacific Northwest Custom Invitational, the Seaside Sensational whatever. But once again, they're putting on another show, kind of called the Portland Show sometimes. It's going to be great. One hell of a lineup. You can get your tickets at pnwci.bigcartel.com. VIP is already sold out, but there's still the standard pass. It's going to be pretty kick-ass. It's going to be right there at the big hotel there on the beach, and there's going to be probably a cool bonfire and all kinds of shit. So, yeah, we thank you guys for helping support the show. And that was not as smooth. Sorry, Billy and Nick.
I want to point out to folks that Michael Walker will be there, and that there will be all kinds of door prizes for attendees. Like if you show up, you should get a door prize.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. Pretty wild.
And the list of makers is fantastic.
The boys go above and beyond, no doubt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In fact, they're going above and beyond with the helps from some other friends of ours. Tom?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Giant Mouse. That's our friends Yin Zanzo, Jim Worth, and Jesper Voxnay. If you haven't had a chance, check out their knives. They've got a really strong lineup. Their fixed blades are really cool. I really like the Giant Mouse GMF2. And if you check out their website, they name their knives kind of like I do. At least the fixed blades. It's all like GMF2, GMF1. So you get the drift there.
I was scratching my head for a second, like, is that an endorsement
creative.
or? Oh yes, okay, creative.
But
yeah,
the GMF2 rocks. I've got one. It's really a cool fixed blade. Also, I want to give a shout out to on their Ace line. They've got a new folder, and I got to handle it at Blade. It's the Jutland. It's really sweet. I love that blade shape, and it's a really nice size. It's a medium to large size knife, and I really dig it. So check it out. Show some support to our friends at Giant Mouse, and we appreciate you guys.
Nice. So I think they're doing a giveaway. I don't know if this episode might be done or out before the giveaway starts, or ends. But they're giving away a set of their kitchen knives. I talked about those things before. They're gorgeous.
Well, they're awesome.
Yeah.
They donated 30 knives for the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, that's super, super cool. Nice job. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your support, all of you. George, the Giant Mouse guys, Nick and Billy. You guys all rock.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, episode 100. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about, right? So we're going to start with, I'm not sure if we're going to talk for a while before Nick jumps out of the cake, but let's talk about what this whole thing and how it started, because it's been a while, right?
It has been a while, a lot longer than I thought it was. When we actually looked back.
It's like 6 or 7 years, right?
It is. December 20th, 2017 was our very first episode.
So 6.5.
Yeah, it seems like there ought to be more than 100 episodes.
We had a little rocky start on our timing, but we got on a groove for quite some time, and then, kept going. But I think what's the number you came up with, Michael, when you looked at Apple Podcasts total?
This will be 123.
This will be 123. So that's
technically
mini-sodes, right? We did the Sean Goes Back to School mini-sodes, and we did some Sean reading episode. That was cool. The Warcraft thing. Tom did a couple about Cressada.
Regrinds.
And regrinds. Yep.
Shows. Yep.
Michael did one that we'll talk about, I'm sure, here in a little bit. There have been a few of them. So let's talk a little bit about how this got started, because I think if you go all the way back to the beginning and listen to our intro show, I think we talked about it a little bit. But Michael, you want to tell the story about kind of how this thing got moving in the first place?
Now, if we were like a cool 90s sitcom, this is where we would just like plug in some of that stuff like from the earlier episodes. That'd be pretty.
Play some cool music.
I hated those episodes so much.
Like flashback stuff?
Yeah,
Clips.
you're like, oh, it's a new episode, and like, you remember that time? Then it'd be like,
oh yeah,
and it just show the same crap you've seen.
Yeah,
but if I remember correctly, Sean and I we would talk. We would just call and talk about random shit, and then we got in our head that I think it'd be a good idea to do a podcast about it. So, and then I talked to you. You were the only responsible person I knew who even would probably know how podcasts work, because I didn't know shit.
Right.
And then Tom somehow found out about it or something that we couldn't like not let him in.
Not after he found out.
What the hell?
Oh, I'm
It'd
sorry.
get awkward.
Oh boy,
Oh shit.
I'm sorry you had to find out this way, man.
sorry about that.
Yeah, so that
I was supposed to cry at the end of the show.
That's right.
At the beginning.
No,
but
so
no, Tom's got such a wealth of information, good dude, and just, I don't know, just seemed natural that we, make this power team.
power team. There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I remember Michael calling me and he goes, "Hey, I think I want to do a podcast." I'm like, "Well, good for you. I don't know how you're going to do that, but go for it." And he's like, yeah, you should help.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool.
Right.
How do you feel about wasting a whole bunch of time?
122 weekends of your life.
Shit. I think you're selling yourself a little short on that one, probably.
He's like,
but think about all the money.
right. We're rolling
It's
it
lost.
over here. Yeah. You could probably figure out how to do it, right? I'm like, I could figure out how to do it. Yeah, probably. And then boom, here we are. And I think I was going to the New York show, right? And I grabbed Tom, and we stepped outside.
Sat on the little sofa out there by the smoking area.
That's right. It was right by the smoking area. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And I said, Tom, I'm going to grant you this favor, but you must know that sometime in the future, and that day may never come, I will ask you for a favor.
I mean, did you guys have to pay too?
Yeah, buddy, I'm still fucking paying.
The initiation fee was brutal, but Tom decided to buy in anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
The yearly tuition. Ooh.
seemed awesome, right?
That's how we got the Mark of the Maker timeshare.
It's not a multi-level marketing program.
No.
It's a fucking opportunity.
That's
Don't
right.
you get it?
That's right. So I told Tom what it was about and what we wanted to do and who was doing it. Do you want to be in? And he's like, yeah, I like it. Yeah. So there we were.
Who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
Yeah.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well,
it still is.
Most of the time it is.
Probably still sign up.
There you go. So what was the motivation? Where did the idea come from? I know you were listening to lots of podcasts.
Oh, yeah. No, I listened to a lot, but it just seemed like, I don't know, a lot of the old forum stuff was starting to kind of slip away. The information was slipping away. And maybe I just felt like I was getting old or something. I don't know. It just seemed like we had information and there isn't much out there as readily available as it used to be. And I don't know. Thought maybe we can shoot the shit about it and misinform everybody.
Well, yeah.
I know me personally, I just saw shit that I didn't like and I wanted to bitch about it to more than Michael. And this seemed like a great way to just scream into the fucking darkness. Maybe somebody would hear it.
The sad part is we haven't gotten to do as much of that as I'd like to, because that was like that's a big part of it too. There's a lot of weird shit that goes on with how everything's changed, but then you're kind of like, well, I don't want to be an asshole. You know,
Man, the
publicly.
thing is, that doesn't make for as fun an episode.
Yeah.
Like, I like the episodes where we have fun. I like pick episodes. Love pick episodes.
Oh, there's a reason we do so many of them, because
Yeah.
we enjoy them.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're just four motherfuckers who love knives, and we love talking about knives and sharing knives with each other. And
It's
it really comes through on those episodes.
Yeah, and the history stuff too is I think extremely important. I think probably the most important. I maybe doesn't get as much listen as the other stuff because it's probably not as fun, probably a little dry. I get that, but I think that those are probably the most important and probably one of the bigger, reasons for putting this on was shit, man, that people need to know about this stuff. And I know we say it too much and too often about, the knife shows and the tables you walk right past to get to the newest and fanciest stuff out there. And it's like, you're walking right past gold, man.
Yeah, I think we decided really early that, okay, we had Get Off My Lawn show and some other stuff, right? And I think we've feels like we've bitched aplenty, right? But
oh yeah,
but I think we also made a conscious decision before we really got started that we would rather talk up what we like than start calling stuff out or whatever nonsense,
Exactly.
right? So
Exactly.
there's a lot of that shit on the internet already, and we don't need to be a part of just bitching. It also gets old. I don't really care to hear that much of it.
right.
Yeah.
So we decided to shine the light where we wanted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, like you mentioned, Mike, and we've talked about this a couple times along the way, when we look at statistic stuff on number of downloads and all that kind of thing, the history episodes don't pull the kind of numbers that something like, Blade Etiquette or, topical stuff, or even the Picks episodes are super popular.
Yeah.
But you guys have, I think, have had the same experience. When people come up to me at shows or even at local stuff and talk to me about the show, I would say the most impactful feedback I get beyond the, we enjoy it, the picks are fun, whatever, a show that somebody identified with because of the topic. The most impactful one where people are like, thank you for doing this, are the history ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I think the numbers may be lower on the actual listening, but I think the people that are listening, it is very important to them, or at least I think so. I'd like to think so. It is to me, because I learned a shitload about stuff I thought I had a decent handle on, and I realized I didn't know anything about it as much as I thought.
Right.
I feel like the picks ones are like a fun one for us, but it's like the history ones are more like homework for us. And we, as far as us, it's more work, and that's maybe why we don't do as many, but I think they're really important. And I really enjoy taking the time to dig down in,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we do a lot of research, right? I mean,
feels like it.
Maybe we're overselling how much research we do, but we spend a ton of time prepping for that stuff. We all individually take notes and kind of end up structuring a little bit and then trying to talk our way through it. And, for a typical history episode, I would say I put in probably 8 hours or 12 hours of prep time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just digging through books and reading and researching on the internet. I mean, the books are where the real info is most of the time, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I enjoy that part of it, but for a guy that's as slow as dog shit anyway, I really don't need to be taking time from my work to get the piles of books out, but I also kind of like, all right, let's get these books out.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing other shit you didn't realize you missed somehow, some obscure knife in a corner of a book. You're like, oh, shit.
Well, I kind of feel like I do that kind of research, like I've done it over the years continually. So when I have to dig in, it's like I already kind of know where I'm going and what I'm looking for. And there's always some surprises, but like right now I'm reading Laren Thomas's book. It's beside my bed and I'm knocking chapters out of it, and it's interesting. And it's like anytime there's new books, I read them, and then I end up going through them every couple years.
Yeah.
Especially like the Randall books and stuff. I love those.
I treat them like random coffee table books. Like they're on shelves, but then I'll get one down just randomly and just look through it. And it's strange.
Yeah.
And I think for me, some of those history ones and some of those, they make me pinpoint, and go on a mission, as opposed to kind of like browsing and be like, ooh, pretty pictures and reading about the captions and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. It's one thing to have a cup of coffee or a beer or something and just kind of flip randomly. It's another thing to say, okay, I'm getting this together for a pick show, or I swear I saw this maker in here that I want to bring up as part of a history show, right? Or whatever. And then it's like, no kidding, it's honest to goodness research, right? You're really out there trying to dig up info and
trying to put numbers down and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, I feel like fucking national treasure when I got some in my head, or you guys ask something and I get to go looking and find it in like, August 1994 Blade magazine. Like, yeah.
Right.
Shit, yeah.
Well, and so I think we went into it with an idea about what we wanted to do, which was, one, point out some history that we felt like was getting lost, right? Or that will get lost if we don't talk about it, right? Keep telling the stories to keep them alive. And so that was part of it. And, our opportunity to give ourselves a voice on some stuff. And I don't know, and this might be my lack of understanding of knife podcast history, but at the time, I don't know a lot of people were doing history type stuff.
I don't think so.
Not to a great extent anyway. Not that we've done it to a huge extent either, but I don't know. We kind of went somewhere with that stuff, and that was nice. But at least for me, and I think you guys the same, I think we've all taken inspiration from this whole thing along the way, maybe more than I expected to for me.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Whether for you guys it's with your work, or for me with kind of reigniting some love of knives and collecting, and you know what I mean, appreciation of some of the history stuff. Sub-Hilts and Randalls and quite a long list of things.
No, yeah. I mean, I think it's, for me personally, it's been really healthy because I don't get to talk knives that often. So it definitely takes time, and it's been hard to make time at times, but it's totally worth it afterwards. I feel really good about, the industry and all that. And it's good to reconnect as friends. So I think it's definitely healthy. And, if other people can enjoy it along with us, I think it's good, for the industry.
Yeah. I think personally it's been good for my whole mental health. There's a lot of weird shit. The industry has gotten huge and changed and evolved and done all sorts of different stuff. But, like Mark said, we kind of try to shine a light on some of the good stuff. So I think that's been healthy for me to, talk about the things that are good or that we enjoy. And yeah, like Tom said, talk knives, which really what we kind of want to do anyway.
Yeah, no one at my house really wants to talk knives. Yeah.
You might have wore them out, just saying.
Ben does, but still.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think most of my family's still trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing and how I can make a living at it, even if it's not much of a living. It's like, what the hell does he do?
Yeah. Well, he does what he loves, right? That's a good thing. Hard to ask for more than that.
Agree.
Aside from a paycheck thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of the bullets we had on here was, how do we think we've done so far? I don't know. I think I'm glad. I like what we've done.
I think we've succeeded. I never saw this going this long. So, hey,
No.
everyone after this is a win.
Yeah.
Did you guys see it going 6 years, 7 years?
And 100 plus episodes? No.
Dude, I didn't think that far ahead. I was just rolling with the thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that far ahead either. But
no, I didn't think it'd last that long. It's kind of weird. You see some of the, the podcasts that do like a bunch of real big advertisements and stuff like that. They're weekly, and they start adding up a lot. But for what we're doing and how we're doing it, I think we're done pretty well. A lot of stuff's gone in the way here and there, slows us down. We have our times when we stack them up and we're real proud of ourselves, and other times, like recently, we're like, oh shit,
life
happens.
together. It's all good.
Yeah, but you start feeling, you get guilty, or you feel guilty, like, oh shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Never feel guilty spending time with your family.
No,
Throw that out there.
Shit, I can feel guilty about anything.
Trying to help you here.
He's unhelpable at times, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
I for sure though. I mean, like when I look back, like I'm looking at the folder that has every episode, all the raw files and edits and notes and all that stuff that I keep on my computer, right? Because I have all the master files, and every one of these was fun, right? I mean, some were a hell of a lot more work than others, whether it's on the editing side or whether it was on the research side. But every one of these was a blast. There's nothing here that I would take back by any stretch. And some of these, I think, personally, the discussions that we've had, again, very selfishly, I am very thankful to have had, period, right? Let alone record it and turn it into a podcast that other people can listen to, right? But like that extremely long conversation with Derek Obataki that turned into 2 episodes.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was very impactful, right? For me personally, anyway, just hearing his perspective. And that's true for any of these people. I mean, I'm super thankful to even have had the opportunity to have those conversations, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's very wild what I've learned from people I thought I knew really well. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, there's gems in there, right? And some of these were, picks episodes that were just fun, and they just kind of are what they are. But, you know, they all have some funny spot in them or some little moment where it's like, oh, this is either cooler than I thought it was going to be, or, you know what I mean? More interesting, or, you know, a little aha kind of moment somewhere in there. And I really like that part. Yeah. So hopefully listeners get a little bit of that along the way too. What, so we had in here, what's next? That's a great question. I think more of the same, right? This recipe works for us. Mixing up topical interviews and history. I was a little skeptical when we started doing these history combo sods, the short history bites, right, where we each bring a chunk to the table. I wasn't sure it would work, but I think they have. I've really liked them. I like them a lot more than I thought I would.
Well, it's fun because it's not as much in-depth work. These are people that there's not a lot of information out there about some of them. And what you can find, it feels really rewarding when you find it. And then not only that, but for me, I get to hear 3 other ones that I haven't heard. And it's like, I've learned a lot of stuff, and it's been pretty cool to follow along.
Yeah.
So
I was afraid they'd feel too small and watered down. And I didn't come away from either of those combo sods we did feeling like that in the end. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're just, some of those are just not a lot of information out there.
Right. But they're important stories to tell.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you know, maybe someone else comes along with us on learning something along the way. That's a cool thing.
Well, and I'm going to give a shout out to our listeners, because oftentimes, you know, there's stuff we miss because it's really hard to find some of this. And in our Facebook group, it seems like people have a lot of information and they share stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's some of the best. That's Bobby's photo of the synergies. You know, I made a kind of a passing, you know, talk about it, and here's like 50 of them in a picture.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or like Lee Lerman, right? Shared this boy dendritic blade blank that he got from somebody and just recently
out beautifully
turned into a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to show mine when I finish it. not now.
Yeah, he kind of dropped the mic.
Yeah.
But that was fun to hand rub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but there's always good stuff in there, right? Stuff comes out of the woodwork, and that's super fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's questions that get answered that we didn't know how to answer that somebody else answers for us, which is awesome. And sometimes it's just funny stuff, and sometimes it's just feedback about the show, right? This last episode, I was really, really encouraged, or I really enjoyed all the folks chiming in on what we talked about, and at least sounded like they appreciated what we do. So it's fun.
Yeah, it helps. I love the engagement. I like seeing it. I like hearing about it. It feels like you're not just talking into an empty microphone.
Right.
I enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, and you know, we say it all the time, I think, but we do sincerely appreciate when people come talk to us about the show, right? We've had lots of very positive commentary, which is always nice to hear, right? Everybody likes to hear they're doing a good job. I've certainly heard at least a few people come and say, hey, you know, you should do more of this, or what if you did this instead, or whatever, right? Making suggestions, and that's super awesome too, right? I mean, I don't. We can't always do everything that people suggest or ask or whatever, or guests that people recommend. But it is nice to know that people care enough to at least offer some feedback.
Yeah, and generally on the guest stuff, it's more a matter of we haven't yet.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people we want to get to, a lot of stuff we want to do.
Right. So yeah, I think we have at least a few guests basically lined up. We just got to get those interviews scheduled, right? We got to get enough of our own schedule in order to be able to line up some guests and get some more of that stuff done. I think we still have plenty of topical things to talk about. And I would think the majority of where we'll go from here with history are probably more of those combo sods.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, we talk a lot about the greats and stuff, and there's still plenty to go, but
yeah,
those little corners of knife making that kind of stick in your craw. That's the stuff I kind of like talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we've been very thankful to have some help with some history stuff, right? Like having Jay Hendrickson take us through the Moran thing. I thought was fascinating.
Yeah.
That's, personally one of my favorites. I really enjoyed that time talking with him twice because we ended up recording that one with Jay twice because we had a recording failure. And he was incredibly patient with us, and he and his wife were such sweet people to talk to. So yeah, that was really nice. And David Sharp took us through Loveless, right? Which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's potential, I think, for more kind of conversations about legends in the future, right? Is if we can pull in a subject matter expert kind of thing and
Oh, yeah.
take us on the walk.
Yeah, I like those quite a bit.
That sounds like walker.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
It would be super cool. It would be super cool. Okay. I don't know if you wrote this question down or if I did, Michael. The ultimate goal. What do we ultimately want to accomplish when we ride off into the sunset and call this thing done?
Fame and fortune.
I say fortune and glory.
World
that worked.
domination.
World domination. I like that.
I want people to end their prayers with their names on their lips.
There you go. I think
Hopefully we can get somebody excited about some of this history stuff and make some books. I would love to see some books.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. I'd say the ultimate goal is probably something we won't ever see that we hope for, but we probably won't ever know about it or see it. But like you said, just happen to be like, I don't know, get someone excited about something, motivated or
Inspire them.
helped,
Yeah.
add passion, all that, shit we talk about.
Right.
And I just hope we can leave the community at least slightly better than we found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like to think we've had some amount of that already, right?
I hope so.
We've certainly had people come and talk to us or send us messages or whatever saying, oh, I didn't know anything about that person that you interviewed. Thanks for turning me on to them. I'm very interested in their work now. Okay, well, that's really cool, right? Again, sort of shining a light where we want to, and we like that.
Yeah, but no, I don't think there's like some Grail episode where I'd be like, all right.
Mic drop.
Literally drop this mic and move on to, podcasting 2.0 or whatever, where the hell's next.
Yep. All right, favorite episode. Let's get into this. Birch feels guilty and he hasn't even talked about his favorite episodes yet.
We know it's number 2. Tell us why. What?
Good old number 2.
So you're saying it's not number 2?
Just for the kids at home who might not remember, episode 2 was Tom's intro episode.
Ew.
Damn it. Come on, Birch.
You gotta help me out, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I didn't realize that was number 2.
Right. Number 1 was our little, I think, very short intro, right? It was like 30 minutes long.
Oh, I bet that's horrible to listen to.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I have not listened to that in a long, long, long time. And maybe I should go back and listen to it, or maybe I'll cringe too hard.
Re-record it.
Right.
Make it seem exciting.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and toss mine out. One of my favorites, the Mall Ninjas.
Mall Ninja was really fun.
It was stupid fun. I enjoyed the shit out of that one.
Probably my least favorite one.
And
I didn't even understand the rules.
You misunderstood the assignment.
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe why I didn't have any fun.
That might actually be why it's Birch's favorite.
I mean, I did have fun, but son of a gun.
Mall Ninja was really good. Well, one of them I wrote down, and I think I talked about this recently, right, was our chat with Jade Marsh. I loved that. His enthusiasm and the whole, like, flashback time machine thing, right?
That was pretty cool.
Early tactical. That was a really, really fun conversation. And
it really was.
And, I think one of the things I love about the interviews is some people are naturals, right? Like, okay, put Bob T in front of a mic. He's ready to roll, right? I mean, like because he does that. He's like ready to present at all times, right? Because of his personality. And then other people are not, right? They're really not, like, they want to talk to us and they want to be on the show and they're happy to join us. Like, I think Jeremy Marsh is a good example, right? Where I think Jeremy came into it like, I don't know, staring at this microphone thing. This is fucked up.
But then he warmed up.
Yeah, that's happened with everybody to some
And that
degree.
was pretty cool to see, honestly.
Yeah. To me, that's one of the greatest parts of the episodes is when it sort of clicks and then suddenly the microphone disappears and it's just the five of us having a beer, talking shit, right? And I really enjoy that part. And I think that was one of the fun things with Jade is I think he found that groove really fast. And then it just turned into unload on here's some cool shit that I saw or was part of, or he really embraced the whole, I want to point at some stuff that a bunch of people don't know about or don't remember or never saw. And that was really infectious, right? I think it got everybody excited. So that was really fun.
Yeah. And it seems like most people that we did those with, they're like, oh, you're not going to be able to get enough, time out of it. And then 2.5 hours later, they're like, oh,
It's like, hey,
shit.
stop talking. We got to go.
Right. Yeah. Richard Rogers,
We don't ever
right?
say that.
Richard Rogers says, oh, this is going to be like a 15-minute thing. My life, I'm super boring. And boom, 2 hours right? Of great conversation, right? So every one of them turns into that where it starts off, people are thinking, there's not a lot here. And then next thing you know, we're like, okay, we're done. And they're like, what? Done? What do you mean?
What about you, Tom? What's a favorite for you then?
One of my all-time favorites was the Randall history episode. It's number 13.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about Randalls. I've loved them for a long time, and that episode was just kind of fun to take a deep dive into Randall and to share. So, the other ones I really like are the ones I like them all. Right, I'm not going to name any like maker names because they're all my friends. And what's that?
They ain't your kids. You're all right.
I know, but I enjoy all those. I really enjoy the ones with Dr. Rachel Parikh. They've been really fun, and it's like getting that backstage look at some really cool stuff. So yeah.
Oh, the wealth of knowledge gets me on those. It's just like, holy shit, I don't know anything about anything, and just to sit back and listen to her talk passionately about these, ethnic, weapons and tools and stuff it's great. I love those.
I think we really need to circle back and try to figure out what she's doing if she can talk with us some more, because she's got so much information on this stuff and it's really good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you what, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think one of the best parts about Rachel is, again, you can hear it in her voice, right? Like her enthusiasm for it is very genuine, right? It's not like she's giving you the museum walk speech, right? She's like really geeking out, and and that's super fun because she's happy to geek out with us, right?
Yeah,
she gets the show and what we're trying to do, and she's also very sweet because she's very nicely told us that we're dipshits a bunch of times, and we liked it.
Doesn't talk to us like we're dipshits.
Right.
But if you're a doctor, you can you got the vocabulary and the words to do that and make us not feel bad.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
like you
but
guys.
when, Dr. Parikh says good point, I'll put that in my, self-esteem pocket and carry that around for like a week and a half.
Yeah, right. Even when she says good point, but I think really
I don't hear those parts.
I don't ever hear that last part.
Let's walk over here to the point I was trying to make.
Nope, all positive.
Yeah, but no, those are super fun. That's a Great choice, Tom. What about you, Sean?
Probably the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was cool.
Ooh,
Yeah. Was that Scary Knives? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yep.
Yeah.
kind of forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
enjoyed the heck out of that one. And we did the Dr. Birch's Cabinet of Curiosities for a Halloween too, and I really, both of those.
Another great one.
Yeah, you can roll that as a you pick it.
Yes. Another great one. I really enjoyed our chat with Bob T. I thought that was super, super fun and insightful. And
Can't believe that was almost 5 years ago.
I know it's crazy,
4 years
isn't it?
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at that earlier. I was like, whoa.
Yep.
Sounds like need a follow up.
Yeah.
Well, he is a Hall of Famer now.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
almost like talking to a new person.
He probably has like an accent, a fancy accent.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Knives the Movies was a classic. I really like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Knives the Movies was cool. And that's when we get comments on all the time from people, right?
Yeah, we went on some deep dives on that. I mean, we realized shit that we didn't know, like the Walker and the Cobra and stuff. And we're like, oh, shit.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like when I was looking back through this, all the people that we've interviewed, there's quite a few people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I would see it and I would remember the conversation. I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And yeah, it was just really cool
Yeah.
looking back through it. It was kind of fun.
100 episodes is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot
yeah.
of talking. A lot of chit chat.
Well, and we colored outside the lines on a few episodes, right? Justin Black, Spycraft 101 guy. That was super fun.
I actually had that down as one of the backups that I liked.
Yeah.
That was a cool one.
It was a fun one and like kind of out of our swim lane, right? But interesting enough, I guess we didn't really need to justify it. We just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember episode 17? It was ethnic knives.
Yeah.
That was a cool one.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that Get Off My Lawn, that's our number one download
boy.
episode.
Really?
Yep. Get Off My Lawn was our highest maybe second highest. Our Blade Etiquette one was a heavy download episode because it
And I think
coming up every year for a while.
I was going to ask you about that, but I think that's probably, as we segue into the most important, to me, that's the most important one we did.
Yeah, most impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Most impact. Yeah.
Yeah, Blade Etiquette, I think, has been extremely broad reaching.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 11.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we did a remix, right?
Right.
We went back
Oh,
and
yeah.
tacked some stuff on.
That would have been 2019, I think.
Yeah, we did that a couple times, like a reissue, and then we talked
Episode 27. Yeah.
for 30 minutes on top of what was already a long episode. Yeah, remix. But yeah, Blade Etiquette I think is helpful, and what I really like is when you go into some of the knife groups, right? Knife enthusiast Facebook groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Every year people are sharing that episode. Hey, anybody who's coming to Blade Show for the first time, you should listen to this, right?
And there's still people that don't understand. I think it was Eric Luther.
Yep.
He
Just
posted
had
up
some-
a picture and
Oh yeah.
like the whole backside of his knife, I think half the silver ring was worn off on the finish.
Yeah, from somebody who handled the
Oh.
knife with a ring on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that was a rough one.
did you see it, Michael?
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, hey guys, the rings look awesome. I think, hey, they're super cool. Just leave them in the room or in your luggage or pocket when you're at the show and put them on
Pop
at
it
night.
off.
I think so. I looked at it personally or on a wider basis from an impact level. I think for me personally,
Yeah.
The Skagel episode, the first time we attempted to do a history episode, which felt at the time super clunky, and it was just like painful, that one to record for whatever reason to me,
Mm-hmm.
because we hadn't done it before, right?
I think it felt like there was a lot of pressure to get it right. Now we understand that we don't have to get it right and it doesn't matter because nobody's listening. But
But even for
Just
me,
kidding.
just like going through that history was personally impactful and interesting, right? Because a lot of that history I didn't know either until we started researching it and actually talking it through. So, I mean, aside from just the overall, oh yeah, there's this relevant guy named Skagel, but understanding sort of the route that his work sort of set, that a bunch of other stuff branched off of, including Randall, right?
Right.
Was huge to me. It was like, oh, okay. So for sure, for me, I was coming along with the listener, and I think at least to some degree, probably all you guys were too, right? Because I think we all learned stuff in those.
The base of that family tree
Exactly.
of American knife making. And
Yeah.
like in Laren's new book, there's a whole chapter where they're talking about his steel and stuff. It's pretty interesting also.
Oh yeah, I had the Randall written down for the same reason. The Randall episode,
Yeah.
just like Tom said, the base of the tree. You know, I didn't really realize how much it all connected until we really started researching that stuff. And you're like, oh shit, this is, pretty laid out here.
Right. Well, and I think some of that, and this goes back to what have we personally gotten out of doing the show. For me, it's been step back from, oh, here's something I like, or here's a maker I like, or go to a show and have fun, to like actually take in more of the total picture of what this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look at it as this big continuum. And for me, those episodes have been, putting the puzzle pieces together, and that changed stuff a lot for me personally.
Yeah, 100%. But it also changed some of my buying habits and shit like that. And the desire for some of that stuff has gotten even more. And we joke about that a lot, but it's really true.
Oh yeah.
I've been good. I've been a good boy, but man, there's been times I didn't want to be, or been like, shit, some stuff I really wanted to pick up just because it's,
Yeah.
you always wanted it, but now that you have the history behind it, or the kind of painted this tapestry of the history, you're like, I want that part of the lineage or that part of the history,
Right.
So I don't know if that's a negative or positive part of that.
I totally get it.
What about you, Sean? What about impactful, whether personally or on a larger scale, where you've heard from people about it?
This has just been good for me personally. It's been good for my state of mind. Dude, it's just made me, in general, a better person. I mean, it's played a big part in me being sober. I can't overstate the positive effect it's had on just me. I don't know, what kind of effect it's had in the grand scheme of things. I can't say. I'd like to think it's had at least a small, positive influence on the community overall. But really, for me personally, it's been nothing but positive.
Yeah.
It's made me a better person. It's made me a better maker.
I think that goes for all of us, but
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Watching you go to school, dude, that was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pretty proud of you, man. It's pretty
I appreciate
badass.
that. That means a
thing to
lot
do.
coming from you, man.
And becoming the teacher.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, Sean's interest and willingness to kind of take us with him a little bit through that, that was inspirational to me. I liked it. Right. I mean, I think those were really fun conversations about you going through that process. And I think, who doesn't like a story of someone trying to, do something to better themselves and their work. Right. And so to me, it was like, hey man, Sean's doing good stuff. Right. And we got to come along for the ride, which I really loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably don't say it enough, but dude, I'm very proud of where you've ended up. You
Absolutely.
have done some really kick-ass stuff.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I think, another really impactful one, and I know you guys have had more conversations about it than I have, although people have talked to me about it as well, is the show that you guys did about mental health and knife makers.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have had people reach out direct and come talk at shows, and
Oh, for sure. I I've found a lot more people like me out there than I realized through messages and whatnot. And fuck, I'm glad. I mean, that was a big thing for me, was realizing, oh, I'm not alone. And this was a big part of helping me get over some of my weird shit or cope with it. You know,
I mean, what we do is hard. Oftentimes we don't see a lot of people.
no.
It's solitary, yeah.
Well, it generally takes a different sort of mindset to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes scattered, and the whatever you want to call it, the creative mind or whatever. I don't know. That sounds so, hokey, I guess, when I call it that. But there's no other way to say it. It's sometimes scattered and odd brain.
Well, and it's, I think this was proven to a bunch of people who maybe never thought about it before when the COVID thing happened, and folks in a lot of cases had to work remote for a while, right? I think a lot of people figured out, oh shit, this does not work for me, right? Some people it did. I loved it, but not everybody, right? I have lots of coworkers who were like, we got to get back in the office because this is not good for me to be by myself working. And it's not, you know what I mean? It's not encouraging in the same, like a lot of people rely on social interaction to really help keep things moving. And
a water cooler is important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think with what you guys do, where it is this mostly solitary thing, right? You got to be the right personality to be able to both survive and to thrive in that kind of situation.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of alone time, for sure.
Well, and one of the things that I see, it's really easy to get down on yourself sometimes because you're working on something and it's going to be badass. You got it in your mind and you jack it up, or you can't figure out that last step for completion or whatever. And that can really mess with you. And it's really hard to learn how to move past that, right?
Yeah.
And have a positive attitude about it and get back to work. Because if you quit and go home for the day or whatever, you're not going to make any progress. And sometimes it's good to quit the project and work on something else for a while, but learning how to manage that, the failure of the creative process at times is hard.
It's not just that. It's the compare and despair aspect of it. It's not just, seeing your neighbor's fancy new boat. You're comparing yourself to everybody that is making right now, that is online. And that can get real unhealthy sometimes.
Well, and I've seen this recently. It's like, don't be upset if your friends are successful or other people are successful. Putting them down is never going to put you up.
Hell no.
The best thing I've found is to be happy for them. And I try not to compare my work to anybody else's, because I just have to build what I feel comfortable building and what I want to build. And looking at everybody else's work a lot of times is just like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's beyond my skill set.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh yeah. It's there's a lot of that kind of odd sour grapes that doesn't really help anybody. You can't go down that path. Just make what you want and enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
All of which is in the easy to say, hard to do category.
Oh, sometimes it's very hard.
Right.
We're not built to see this much information at once and take it all in. But it's stuff you got to work on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we certainly see lots of examples of people not understanding that, right? And feeling like they need to tear somebody else down in order to feel good about themselves. And that isn't just knives, right? I mean, that's human being behavior on display, thanks to social media. But
and it's spread across so much. It's not just like it's not just like, oh, I'm not good enough. My finish isn't as nice as someone else. It's someone upset that the finish of someone else's isn't, where they think it should be, and they don't understand. It's kind of like, there's a lot of similarities to like abstract art and weird stuff like that. It's like, I mean, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't have value.
Right.
Yeah, people should try to just be a decent fucking human being.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would be really good. It's a good baseline.
That's probably the hardest thing we've ever talked about so far. It seems like, because it's not happening out there as much as it should, right?
No, yeah, that turns into social commentary discussion, but it applies across the board, right?
Yeah. Don't be an a-hole.
There you go. There you go.
Perfect.
All right, let's pick something that has changed in the industry that is positive since late 2017. Boy, that's a great one.
Oh, boy.
Don't everybody jump in at once.
Benchmade's bringing back Packwood. There you go.
I had that in my negative.
No, that's the positive, man.
Oh, man.
I've seen more knives with Packwood recently. That stuff's expensive.
You keep saying that, but I still haven't looked at the price. I have not priced out a chunk of
You gotta
pallet
look.
of Packwood.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my search history.
Sean could kick the bucket, and what are they going to find? Packwood searches. Ugh, gross.
Tarnish my legacy.
That's right. Okay, so this is something that just the sheer growth of the industry from 2017 to 2023 seems staggering to me.
Oh, it's so massive.
And I I wrote it down, and then I'm like, is that a positive or negative? I think in the end, if you step back as a knife maker, it has to be positive, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
think it can be
sometimes I think it depends on what day you catch me. Sometimes I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Everything's gotten huge. We have more collectors. We have more whatever. Then you catch me on another day, and I'm like, man, this has gotten too big.
It's exactly what's wrong with everything.
Yeah. And it's, we say we hope we're a positive influence on the community. That's another thing that's kind of changed. It isn't just the community, because we're always referring to the community that we grew up with or started in and learned about. That's not everybody's knife community. There's who knows how many pods of communities there are out there. That
Right.
may not, that's one thing we've learned is like, the depth of this has gotten really, really huge.
Yeah, I think it was bigger than any of us really considered it even then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Realistically. And then it's gotten what feels like 5 or 10 times bigger since then.
Yeah.
On a grand scale, which is, again, I think from a business perspective, you have to applaud and be thankful for. I think it's certainly, like any growth situation, brings more than its fair share of weird side effect shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And maybe that's more the negative of it than the growth part. Because I think the growth on its own is just good for you guys, period. I don't see a downside, right? I mean, there's growth in a bunch of areas that aren't the market that you even are interested in, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere you're not going to play, but
it's like, yeah, it's gotten kind of wild. But as far as like for makers, like if you're a new coming in, the price of learning has gotten, that there's all this YouTube, all these work in progress. Like the information is all so readily available that you can kind of hop in and start making pretty quickly, I think, or I would assume. I don't know. So I'd say that's got to be a positive of it growing so big.
I would think so. Access to opportunity to be successful seems much greater than it once was. The nut is easier to crack, it seems like.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not fair to newer people, right? Newer makers. But I think it is. The information's easier to get by far.
The information's easier. Now, if you care about making your own style and design, I don't think I'd want anything to do with that as a new maker right now.
Right.
That would be, it would seem so daunting.
Yeah.
But on the other flip side is, I don't know if a lot of people care about creating their own look. It's kind of like, well, it's popular, let's recreate. So there's a fair amount of that too.
Yeah.
But I think we mentioned this on the last episode too, the sheer amount of awesome Damascus that's like just out there now, is like would have been award winning, some years back, not that long ago. That's just like on people's kitchen knives now.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Right.
Yeah. I think also there's equipment. Like there's so many new grinder makers. There's so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a lot of really cool like places to buy material now that just specialize in, vintage stuff or wood or whatever. It seems like there's more suppliers and more equipment makers and stuff like that than there ever has been, which I think is a pro.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like there's people finding solutions for problems I didn't know there was in knife making, in making tools for them. There's a ton of that stuff out there. They're just like
coal iron and
oh yeah,
they're doing some crazy stuff. And
but then you want it.
Oh yeah, but I don't even forge and I want it.
Yeah,
maybe I start just so I can get the tools.
We know you want the hot dog heater.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I someday. But I mean, and like you mentioned, if you want to do this, it used to be you had to find somebody or read a book and figure that stuff out. Now there's so much information online. It's like there's almost too much information, but anything you want to do, if it's work on your car, or make a knife or whatever, it's online, which is crazy.
What about you, Sean? You got something that's changed to the positive since 2017 when we started this thing?
Man, I see a lot of younger makers coming together and working together and being buddies and helping each other out.
Yeah.
And it seems like when I was coming in, we were a little more standoffish with each other just because that was kind of the norm. You kept to yourself, you did your own thing, and,
Yeah.
And I'd see these guys, they don't have that mindset. And I think overall it's going to be really good for all of them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, more collaborative generation of makers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sharing the love and sharing the knowledge, and it's just going to be good for everybody concerned.
I feel like we were kind of the in-between generation where before us, like, there was no sharing unless you actually knew someone.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we started sharing, and I think the proliferation of information on the internet really changed that, because there's no secrets. It's all out there. So why not work together and be friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were pretty free with stuff. We did a ton of work in progress threads and didn't hide shit.
Same. We on the forums, I think we did a lot of that.
But there were still some of the remnants that were like, no, that's my proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Maybe part of where Sean's going is, yeah, there's stuff on the forums that we were involved in, but the forum thing was pretty cliquish.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, if you were in, you were in, but if you weren't in, you were out.
That is true.
So,
good point.
And maybe there's less of that because of the fact that it's not that, clustered community thing that makes the world seem small. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, younger generations, I think in a lot of cases have come through education and other stuff that is more collaborative, right? Certainly like my daughter, she went through a program in high school where, it wasn't about book, homework, study, take a test, book, homework, study, take a test. It was, do a project, whether it's an English project or a math project, geography project, sometimes all blended together, and work in a team and give a presentation about it, right? That's way different than what I did. I didn't have to ever present anything until I got to college. And then it was like, oh shit, I got to do this twice before I graduate, right? She did it every week for like 4 years. So I think people are coming from a little different perspective, and maybe that helps that collaborative thing.
Yeah, it's good to see. We've seen, even some changes in how some of the stuff gets finished, and, some of the same shit we've seen for years. You're like, oh, more people in the pool means more information, more
Right.
ways to do stuff.
Right. But it's a fair point. Tom is the Jan Brady. of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
He's right in the middle.
Okay.
That was one hell of an old man.
It
reference right
was,
there.
yeah. Go look Jan Brady up, you young bastards. Okay. Oh, here's the other one. Pick something that has changed in the industry. Negative.
Oh shit! Crack some knuckles.
Get off my fucking lawn, he said.
Less pack of wood.
You just said there was more pack of wood.
No, I said Benchmade's trying to bring it back.
Oh, demand for pack of wood is up and the prices have gone up. That's a negative. I get it.
That's what Big Pack I want you to think.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, Tom, if you'd invested in pack of wood futures like I recommended to you.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Big pack. That's good right there. I like that.
It's all part of a plot by Big Packer to constrain the supply.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the next season of True Detective.
Right. Big Packer is a fantastic character name.
Oh God, yeah. Kind of racist though. Gotta say, don't like that much.
I know that's. I'm like, when we first talked about the whole pack of wood thing, I'm like, is Birch afraid of offending the pack of wood community? Like, what is he?
Not really, but I'm like, it's still a term that I don't know if we ought to be using.
Okay. What else is negative?
The size of the pool is also a bit daunting sometimes.
Yeah.
That also means more people that don't care about where designs come from. They don't give a shit what anyone did before them. It's more, I don't know. They just see money. There's definitely more of that.
The scene is a little trace happy. Is that where you're going?
It's not just trace happy. It's also like, it is a little, beret wearing artist guy. You kind of want people to be passionate about it. And then you realize there's people that just see that there is money to be made. Cause there is, if you do play your cards right and do the social media correctly and all that stuff, you could. But yeah, there's a fair amount of that going on now too, or at least a lot more than there used to be. And I think back when it was smaller, it was more manageable. It was kind of self-cleansing because it was sort of one community. Now it's many communities, many things going on all at once, sometimes connecting, sometimes not. So, as a guy that works by himself alone, it gets sometimes a little overwhelming. You're like, oh shit, this pool is huge.
Yeah. You use the beret thing a lot. Tom, Sean, have you ever seen Michael in a beret?
I don't know. And I don't know if anyone actually wears that anymore. But in my head, the artsy guy has the beret on.
I gotcha.
The beatnik,
I feel like
So
at
go back
next
to those
Blade show,
generations.
he should have to wear
He
one.
should wear a beret.
I might as well just be a flat cap or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. It should be raspberry.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Another
And that you'd buy in a secondhand store.
Yes, very deep
Yes.
cut. Very deep cut. I like it. What, Tom, Sean, what about you guys? Negative of the changes in the last 6 years?
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and
No.
something. It's something that I think is a positive, but it can also be a huge negative, and that's social media. I mean, it's like a thing we have to have. It's where we do business. It's where we interact, but man, it can get out of hand really quick, and it can also lead to a lot of that comparing and all that kind of stuff. But it's almost a necessary evil since the forums are really not what they used to be.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it can be extremely toxic. It can be I think it's one of those things where we'll learn down the road, kind of like how everyone smoked and stuff in the 70s and whatnot. And they're like, it's good for you. A couple smokes will, keep your hair growing or something. We'll find out that social media was horribly bad for all of us in the way we utilize it and look at it and all that fun stuff. But also, if you want to be selling shit, it's where you have to be.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the catch-22 that sucks sometimes.
Like I said, I use it. it's been nothing but a blessing for me as far as a place to do business, but I really have to limit myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the toxicity, it absolutely creeps in, right? Sometimes it comes in a tidal wave, and sometimes it just kind of creeps in, and that it's very unhealthy personally for people, right? You can see it happen to people.
Yeah, it can be.
And it can be really fucked up, I don't know, breeding ground for toxic shit. Just not creepy.
Oh, yeah. After Sean goes, I got a solid get off my lawn one to add to this.
Oh, boy.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
It probably ain't going to take me that long because Tom stole mine. I was going to use social media.
Yeah.
So I
Sorry.
could bitch about it all day. And,
Owie.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, as the community's gotten larger, I've seen some weird dealer shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just some shit that there's no way it should fly. There's no way that these fuckers should even be trying it. But, with new makers coming in, I guess they think they can get away with it, or they're just new and ignorant and don't know that, there's no fucking way you're going to get away with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I forwarded you guys the stuff I had about the one dealer who was sending the makers he bought from grade sheets on how they were helping him.
Right.
They're set up right behind me or close to me at Blade Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that just chafed my ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done it. I mean, with the numbers I crank out, dealers have never been my bread and butter in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I've never had to worry about that too much. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I won't. If I would like for some of the younger guys coming in to know your worth. The dealers need you as much as you need them. Don't let them fucking walk all over you because they are buying from you at a fucking discount.
Right.
They're getting as much, if not more, out of it than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And if exposure is part of their selling point to you, that they'll get you exposure, fucking walk. You don't need them.
Yeah. Or don't be afraid to have a conversation with someone who's been doing this for a while, get some advice or input or whatever. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of people who would be happy to help with some advice about, do more of this, do less of that, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
There is something that is part of the conversation, Sean, is what their reach is, right? You're basically putting your stuff in front of their customers, which can be a big thing, but
or it could be nothing.
The grading thing is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. But, I don't know. I've never, like you said, ask questions of somebody. I know I've never intentionally not answered someone's question about, I'm starting out, blah, 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 this or that. I've been happy to answer whatever.
Never?
What's that?
Never?
No, I said intentionally. There's some I'm sure I've forgotten or whatever, but I generally try to help whatever. So,
yeah.
And if I'm, there's tons of me out there that would do the same thing, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was just laughing about that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's never a never.
There's
always a never.
Never talk
never and always,
man.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key. I
always wrong.
I think it's a unfortunate reality of mega growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
With massive opportunity comes massive opportunity for shady shit, right?
Trains here.
Yeah.
So,
but another negative of it growing so large, and I feel like this is okay to talk about because he talked about it in his group. A friend and bead maker guy who's wildly popular. You're talking about the amount of weird refunds on drops.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And it's just like, and he has plenty of people that want them, but I think it's people that may not know. I don't know. I don't know what is going on. I think it's just the amount of people that are just coming into this and may not know or just see that someone else wants it, and then they get impulsively kind of try to grab something. They get it and they're like, oh shit, did I really want that? Or did I want to get it because, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of that, it seems like, and a lot more oh, I didn't realize, or oh, I'm like, well, you know.
If you go in and you win, take it. If you don't want it, sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody wants to make a profit now. That's the thing.
Yeah,
If they think they've got to take a loss, then they get all butthurt. I saw a dude post about, got the knife back from having it repaired, and I took $100 loss reselling it. Well, boo fucking who? You're selling a used knife, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, it's gotten wild. It's almost like it's expected. Like, you know, stocks don't work that way. Stuff, you know, commodities, they shift, they change. One day they go for more, one day they may go for less. But if it goes for less, it's a used knife.
I mean, if you've owned it and it's been yours and you've enjoyed it, that's why I've always said collect what you enjoy, right? You know?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing this for money, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can make money doing some of this stuff, but that's not really the reason most of us do what we do.
Right.
And I don't know, I've said before, if you couldn't show anybody what you got and you still liked it, like you couldn't post it, you couldn't show anybody, and you still enjoyed it, you bought something you really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of stuff. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, we probably
That's
don't
the thing,
know.
I buy shit and I never put up pictures of it.
Yeah,
'cause it's
right.
mine, and I
You
want to keep
bought
it
it
all
for
to
you.
myself.
Yeah. Well, buy what you love what you buy, right? And I think a lot of that stuff goes back to the culture of consumption thing, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like at some level it's more about the excitement of the chase, and then people realize, oh, wait a second, I actually agreed to spend money that I might not have actually had, right? And it pings on a bunch of points that we've talked about before, even like from a collector perspective, right? Like I said, buy what you love what you buy, right? If you say you're going to buy something, you know, you said you're going to buy something. If you don't play above the rim, right? There's a bunch of people over the years, we've seen them over and over again, right? Oh, I have to sell this to make the house payment. Really, dude?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you
shit.
doing? Right?
Don't you stop buying things you
Yeah,
don't need.
you're no. It's the satisfaction of being able to post a cool widget and a neat picture on social media feels good for a little while, and it's also like, you know, eating cotton candy, right? It's like fleeting
Yeah.
and maybe not good for you. So
And then it's also, I mean, that's another thing. It's gotten harder to find like who really, it used to be already pretty tough to find out these real collectors. And I'm not saying real like someone who has to use it or whatever, but someone who genuinely like really wants the knife and enjoys it, whether they put it in a safe and just look at it once a year or use it or whatever the hell they want to do. But someone who actually wants it, it kind of is harder to ferret out who really wants it. And I'm not saying anything disparaging about people who, you know, want to flip or whatever. I know that's part of it. Never really cared that much. But at the same time, you also, when you put a lot of work and passion and you kind of wanted to go to someone's hand, she's like, I really like this shit.
right.
That's the end game.
Agree.
All right.
Oh shit! I guess I'll get to my my real complaint.
Oh, I was going to say, was that what you were holding in the hopper here, or what?
The bad part is I don't know if we've actually talked about this on a podcast or if I've just talked to some of y'all in person, or that's the issue. Maybe we talked about the drop shut. Did we talk about that on the podcast?
We probably talked around it a little bit at some point, but go ahead.
It has influenced the modern makers, or some modern makers, quite a bit.
Explain what you're talking about.
Okay. You guys have all heard but it's got the drop shut action. And they mean when, you know, you just unlock it, it just falls shut on your fingers.
Which seems like an awesome idea.
Used to be
that's
awesome.
what you should do.
Well, and it used to be like, I get it. I get where it comes from. We all want a very smooth knife, but there's smooth and tight are two different things. It's supposed to be a sign of high tolerances. And I think like when it started getting coined, it was usually around the Shirogorov stuff. You know, they were doing multiple rows of bearings. They were doing very clean machine work that made for a very nice way it would drop. But people are now using kind of workarounds. Like I've seen so many loose, like really, really loose lock bars that are, you know, because they want to eliminate as much friction as possible to achieve that drop shut action that they think means a quality in a knife, which you could have a loose pivot. You could have a ton of things to create that same thing that doesn't really mean it's quality. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just, it's kind of changed.
My knives will drop shut.
And that's perfectly fine. My Loxa doesn't drop shut. I would never want it to. And you can't tell me that's not a quality knife or one of the pinnacles of, you know, one of the great knives out there, folding knives. Yeah. It doesn't matter. But yet people want to see it. And I think it's kind of detrimental to, you know, the knife community when people keep asking for it, and the maker's like, well, what can I do to get that? Sometimes you're taking away what should be there.
Agreed.
So anyway, that was my big get off my lawn part 2 electric boogaloo. Nothing wrong with drop shut, but it is not the only metric for a quality knife.
Oh God, no.
It is possibly one, maybe one. So,
dude, I think at this point the drop shut is a metric of maybe that's a knife I don't want anything to do with.
Sometimes, and I'm like, it's what? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe that's a negative of one of the things that's changed. Not that there weren't people that got spun up about some specific aspect or not. It's got to be on bearings or it's got to be on washers. Ford versus Chevy shit, right? About how knives are made. And it's kind of turned a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh, here's a video of a knife and you had to shake that thing to get it to close. I don't know.
What's the action look like? And, what should I get? You want some form of it, but it's like, or like you said, the washers, like a real maker can make them on washer. I'm like, all right.
Right.
What do you think of this idea, Sean and Michael? I'd sent an email to Steve. I don't know if he got it. Probably did and thought it was a bad idea, but I had an idea. So basically, what if the same size of your bearings, if you made phosphorus bronze, it was thick enough, 62 thousandths. So if you wanted it on bearings, you got bearings. If not, you could throw in those phosphorus bronze and have it on phosphorus bronze washers.
Didn't Hinder do that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's got something like that.
The old switcheroony?
Yeah, tri-way pivot, he calls it.
There you go.
What's the tri? Is it nylon, bronze, and bearings?
Maybe. Maybe nothing at all. Fuck it. Try
it's all interchangeable.
Take them all out.
Yeah, I think that was Rick's attempt to say, okay,
well, I mean,
you want bearings?
Sense.
You can put bearings in there.
Yeah.
No, I like the idea. I think it makes sense. If it's a different thing, right? I mean, that's where, I tend to end up thinking about it like you're trying to sell a product, right? And who's your market? And in Rick's case, he's trying to hit a big market, right? He's selling a lot of knives. He's making a lot of knives. He has to make a lot of knives to make his business work. And he's selling a lot of knives. And so he's got people that run the spectrum, right? From, I'm fine if it's hydraulic, like Michael's Loxa, right? And other people that want it to drop shut and feel loose. And one person's complaining that the detent's way too strong. I can barely open it. And another person's like, I can shake this thing open. Okay. Pump the brakes, right? If you're trying to hit that wide of an audience with your product and you want to be all things to all people or as many things to people as many people as you can, then yeah, I think that kind of strategy makes a lot of sense, right? Because you're trying to sell knives to people from a whole bunch of different places. But I don't know. As an individual maker, do I think it makes sense? Maybe. Depends on what you're trying to do, right? What are you trying to be?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You kind of see it sometimes with the three ways of opening: the flipper, the thumb, and the front. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I just like one. I don't even like doing 2.
Yeah, if
That's too-
I'm building a flipper, I almost don't like a thumb stud on it.
Yeah, they're different approaches, and I still really can't open the front flippers.
There's a little bit of technique for sure.
Can you?
No, I don't have it.
Can you 4-finger flick?
What's that one?
Finger flick?
Where you can flick it open with every finger?
I can.
You can?
Yeah,
Okay.
usually.
All right.
Ben's really good at that. So is Zach, but
Yeah.
they made fun of me enough that I've tried
Had
to
to
get
learn
where I
how.
can do it.
You've been
Yeah.
assimilated?
Yeah.
You should have made fun of them for being able to do it.
Yeah,
That would have been the best option, probably.
Yes,
ableist.
break your children.
Sean, my little disappointed dad speech about you got to decide what you want to do with your product. Yeah, what I had in my head was the whole Twisted Sister. What do you want to do with your life?
Pick a fucking finger. Stick
Back
with
in
it.
my day, we opened it with our thumb, and we were goddamn glad to be able to do it.
And we open it slowly. We took our time with it.
Savored it.
Where you going? What are you cutting so fast?
And there you go. That's the cap to the get off my fucking lawn section of the episode. Are we transitioning to the last part? Because this last part.
So
So, to be honest, when this idea was suggested, I felt a little concerned. Like, we might not make episode 101 after we get through this next part, or it might be really fun and funny and everybody enjoys it, or it could be like the band breaks up after some shit like
Feelings.
this goes down. Yeah, feelings get hurt. I really don't know.
yeah.
I feel like you guys are judging me already.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, we talked about. Oh wait. I did this just for Michael because I know he will cringe so hard.
Oh Jesus. Might
Sorry.
have to give it.
Sorry, that was painfully loud.
Holy shit! Went to the red.
The bell at the end gets me.
The good part is they won't be able to hear what's after. You're like, shit, turn that down.
Okay, so Michael's idea was. I think this was Michael's idea, wasn't it?
It's stupid, so probably.
Who are we blaming for this if this goes horribly wrong?
I'll take the
Sean.
blame for it, dude. I'm
Sean.
used to that shit.
Okay. So this is the 100th episode podcast awards, which we were trying to come up with a good name. We actually asked our Patreon, our collaborator tier patrons to help us with that. We got some suggestions from David Patnod. He said he called them like a nickname, right? Like, okay, the Academy Awards, you call them the Oscars, right? Or the Tonys or whatever. And so what these really are is the International Podcasters Association Hall of Fame Awards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there is no such thing. So we need a better name. And so I think we concluded we're going to call them the Sharpies.
Yeah. Pretty clever.
So the Sharpies, yeah. This is like the Dundies or the Oscars or the Tonys.
Mm-hmm.
David suggested, I told the guys, a couple of these sound like band name. The Bearded Ricassos.
That is a band name.
It is a band name. So we had a honky tonk band. You could absolutely call yourself that.
Maybe the beard oil.
I like this one. Birch will love this. The False Edgies.
Ooh. That's like what they call the Razzies or something like that.
Something like that. The Over-Serrated Awards or the Blade Play Awards.
Blade play. Oh,
That's got a little kink action to it. I like it.
that's a bad award right there.
It might
You know
be.
You know what blade play?
Yeah. Well, these
And
could
I've
end up
not won any of these awards either. So
The drop shuts.
the drop shuts. Yeah. Okay.
the Drop Shits does sound like a band name.
The Sharpies. We got to give credit to the Sharpies to my wife, Amy. She was the one who suggested that.
Yeah, we like that one.
My daughter suggested the Nerdies, and I think we were all offended. Certainly I
think
was.
she was just that was more of a you and her situation.
Busting chops?
Yeah,
She learned from the best, my man.
she was like, I don't give a shit.
Shut up, old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been it. Okay, so Originally, I was thinking these were like where we're each going to take a presentation opportunity to present each other with awards. And I think we concluded right before the show that we're going to do this the opposite way. So, which is like roast style. So each person has a turn, and then we're each going to give awards to that person.
Oh boy.
I just want to say I love you guys before this. So it's all good.
I just want to say it's been great, no matter how this comes out.
I had some like nice ones too. I didn't
No,
know we were
so
going roast mode.
Tom went deep, it sounds like.
I never understand the assignment.
He
So
was cackling in anticipation, which makes Michael really nervous.
No, I can't wait to hear yours, man. I
These
mean,
weren't
seriously,
bad.
that's going to be the highlight of this recording for me.
Not bad at all. These are all good.
Well, now I'm a little disappointed already. I was hoping it would be at least mildly hurtful, but in a good-natured way.
I think there'll be some of that. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm confident that there will be some. Okay, Michael is the first person up. So Michael takes the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to give their award to Michael first?
All right, well, let's do it the way we got it laid out,
All right.
where Mark, then Tom, then me.
Okay. So the award that I'm going to give Michael on episode 100 is the Mr. Consistency Award.
Sounds good, but
Okay. So Michael's my homeboy. He has been for a long, long time. I bust his chops a lot, and I'm sure that gets really old. Maybe not for the listeners, and certainly not for me. But I know he gets a little tired of me busting his ass all the time. So the consistency thing comes from Michael's always very consistent in his perspective. He's always afraid someone's going to get butthurt about something he says
that's
every
true.
time, and about what he cares about with what he does. And he takes it very personally, and that's got good parts. That's got bad parts, right? But he's certainly super consistent in that way. And I think we all love him for that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that award started off real nice.
I think it's safe to refer to Michael as our resident curmudgeon on Mark of the Maker. And I mean that in the most sweet and nice way.
Mm-hmm. My beret is a little bit tilted.
I know you're not wearing a beret because your wife would bust your ass way harder than me if you actually had a beret on.
Oh, God. There's no way.
Just imagine if you came in from the shop with a beret on your head.
Shit, I put on one of those flat cap once, like in 1982, and she fucking roasted me for 20 years.
I'm pretty sure your kids at this point are finely tuned to also be able to bust your ass if you wore a beret into the house.
Oh, it wouldn't go well.
All right, the Mr. Consistency Award. I had a backup, but I can do it at the end. Tom?
Lay it
So,
on me, yes.
So my award for Michael is the maker most likely to put 4 or 5 blades in the same folder.
Oh,
And,
That's fucking true.
And it seems like kind of a negative thing, right? But it isn't. It's Michael's one of those guys that's gonna, if there's anything wrong with it, even if nobody else can tell, Michael can, and he holds himself to a different level. So props on that. I think it's probably a good and a bad thing for you. I feel like you hold yourself to a much higher standard than everybody else holds you. And whether that's good or bad, that's something you have to decide.
Thank you, Tom. See, yours started out kind of weird, but it got real nice. Like
I'm working on
Mark's.
the tears
oh,
there.
come on. I said, that's why we love you, Michael.
What?
Gee whiz. No, that's a very good one, Tom. Most likely to.
Mhm.
I was going to put all mine in the most likely to format or least likely to, and I didn't. I gave up. I went a different direction, but good job.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you?
All right, most folks don't know this, but almost all the outlines we work from, Michael puts together. And a lot of the time it's last minute. He comes in clutch. So I'm going to give Michael my Black Library Award for Literary Excellence.
Awesome.
Because he writes up, at 0 hour when we need it the most. He comes through with the writing that needs to be done, so we come off halfway organized.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't like to people know that we aren't prepared months in advance for these, but yeah.
The cat's out of the bag if they hadn't already guessed.
Yeah.
Minutes in advance.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. What's
I
your
appreciate that.
My
Yeah.
pleasure, bud. You earned it.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's like a Peabody, but different.
Nice. See, now that wasn't
Better.
so bad, was it?
Go for the roast
Didn't
now,
lose much
Mark.
of thought.
Oh, my
Changed some of
backup.
mine.
My backup award was the Segway champion. While you were out partying, carousing, Birch studied the Segway and the blade.
Yeah.
Love a good segue.
He's all about the Segway. And you know what? It's kind of like a broadcasting dad joke is the way I see it. And that's part of why he loves it so much.
Especially when you stop to point out your segue after you do it. It kind of takes away the idea of the segue.
When you pat yourself on the back about it.
Under episodes, not getting better at this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, you do it. You're the Segway champ. I can appreciate that.
Agreed.
All right. You guys got anything else for Michael, or can he leave the stage?
That's good.
All right.
Nicely played.
Michael taps out. I tap in. Lay it on me. Michael, you're up first.
Oh, my first one is going to be the Big Bear Buyers Award. We didn't realize going in what a sort of fetish Mark had for the Big Bear until we got in these. And man, he has amassed a collection. But I think if you're going to pick one, one style, it's a hell of a style to go with.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been expensive.
I bet so.
I should have picked neck knives or something. But for sure, it's always a style that I've always thought was really cool and maybe unapproachable. And doing the show gave me an excuse to go after some. So thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. I went nice on these.
Right. Not like other people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tom, you're up.
I didn't really know how to put this one down, but I'm going to give you like the voice for radio. You've got that smooth voice, easy talking demeanor, and I don't know, man. There's got to be some kind of a word, and I just couldn't put it in words. But
It's my backup.
yeah, right. It's true though. I mean, smooth as butter, man. That's the award.
I'm gonna hand my back off name to you since you're using it. I called it the Red Fox Award.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, because he came in, we all were like, well, I'm always talking on the phone with him. Then he got on this podcast. He's all like, hey,
hello.
It's time to get the lead out.
He's got that radio voice.
It's funny, when we started doing the podcast, I had a bunch of people reach out and say that. And I'm like, what? Really? Me? No.
You picked the right other three guys.
You don't have to be faster than the bear, they say.
And I quickly realized, I got the face for podcast, but the voice for like fucking solitude or something. I hate when we have to go back and listen to this shit. I'm like, man, you are a real dipshit.
Yeah.
With a weird voice.
I used to make the guys, I used to ask the guys to screen the episode before we posted it. And we got away from that eventually, but I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard. 122, now soon to be 23 episodes later, I got to listen to every one of them in excruciating detail. So yeah, I maybe I'm just used to it now. Thank you, Tom and Michael.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Maybe that'll be my second career.
Right. Probably not TV though. Just saying.
Nothing with video. I appreciate that. There you go.
Voice for radio.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. No. What about you, Sean? What you got?
I give you the overall league MVP award because this shit would not happen without you.
Mm-hmm.
Very kind. Thank you.
I mean, dude, you weigh more than pull your weight. We wouldn't have episodes without you. A lot of the time you keep us organized, and I'm sure that that's like trying to fucking herd cats, and I just appreciate you doing your thing and being you. MVP all the fucking way.
Rock on.
Oh, yeah. He's the adult.
Yeah, yeah, really.
I mean, he is like 20 years older than us, so.
Oh,
That's true.
Oh, so cold.
Grandpappy.
Somebody's got to be the grown up in the room.
I think I'm the only grandpa here, man.
That's true.
Forgot about that. Shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How the tables have turned, my friend. Well, thank you, Sean. Yeah,
thank you.
we've all had moments of frustration going through this thing. And thanks to friendship and conversation, we've worked through all that stuff over time. And so, yeah, it's Michael described it as a passion project. That's a great way to put it, because it ain't for the money.
Sure shit ain't no money project. It's just like my real job.
Exactly. Well, that's very nice. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate you. All right. I think Tom is up.
Oh, no.
The Sharpies. I'm glad we called it the Sharpies. All right, Michael, I think you're
I
first.
think Sean's on this one, isn't he? First up.
If we're rotating, sure. It doesn't matter. Yeah, let her rip.
All right, so my award for Tom would be the Wild Card Award.
Oh.
Never know what Tom's going to say. Never know what Tom's going to do. He is the wild card of the group. I enjoy his perspective, and you've earned this one, my friend.
You are correct on that.
That is
People
very
don't
true.
know, but usually when something has to get edited out, it's old Mr. Clean Pants over there.
Come on.
It's true. We have on a few hundred occasions taken out certain things Tom has said. No, not that many, but occasionally.
Nah, you guys
After
are
laughing
making sound
Hale and Hardy,
No,
they were removed.
No, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Wild card award in a beautiful way, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I mean,
usually-
dude, your perspective is unique among us. I enjoy your perspective, and I always enjoy hearing your take on any subject.
Absolutely.
We're not saying he's wrong. It's just usually not something we ought to be putting out there.
copacetic.
And sometimes it's just phrasing.
Mea culpa.
Too funny. Too funny. I like that. Well said, Sean.
There you go.
Yeah. I guess it'd be your turn, Mark.
Okay. I'm going to give Tom the Inspector Gadget Award because nobody nerds the fuck out like Tom does. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, oh, machine from solid match holder. Oh my God, you guys aren't going to believe this. I just got 5 different ones of that oddball shit that you've never heard of before. I just got them. They're wonderful. And he's got websites and reviews, and he probably watched some crazy ass TV show about it. And to me, it's infectious and wonderful, and it makes me get excited about stuff. If it's remotely interesting, gadgety, or fun, Tom is all about it, right?
Yeah.
And kind of rolled into that is personally, to me, at the core of the knife dork in the most loving way of this podcast. Tom is the core to me of that. Like if someone said, "Hey, who's like a person that you know that's so infectiously excited about knives and gadgets and all that stuff," Tom's the first guy I think of. He's the knife nerd.
But where's he find the time? That's
No,
what
I know.
always wonder. It's like, because he'll be like, yeah, I was reading about this stuff. And you're like, when?
Right.
I just saw you finish 20 knives today. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a sickness, man. I've had it since I was little. My mom went to therapy over it, so I can't help it.
Yeah. No, I understand exactly what you're saying, Michael. Oh, I was in the shop at 5 today, and I went home at 11.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, I did all this research and know unknowable facts about all kinds of goofy stuff, right? It's like unbelievable.
I don't get it. I work hard. I'm just slow, really, really slow. And I don't know where he finds the time.
It's magical.
Yeah. And he buys 5 of them. Or he's like, oh, yeah, I've got one of those. We talk about something obscure. He's like, yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah.
I think, whatever. No big deal.
I've been doing this for a long time, too, though.
I'm pretty sure when he says he has a couple of those, he has like one of those giant Rubbermaid totes stashed somewhere full of whatever it is.
It's going to be
Maybe.
one bitchin' estate sale.
Maybe. Yeah.
Dude, that's what my wife is so worried that something's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife says I have and she makes a quote marks, beautiful mind. I don't think it's a
Right.
good thing, right? What she's saying.
It's got to be better than my wife telling me I'm smart with my hands.
Smart with your hands. There you go. There you go.
That's pretty brutal.
It is. Yeah. Well, Inspector Gadget Award. If it's sharp, if it moves, if it makes a sound, or you can throw it, Tom is down.
Yep.
Pretty
Well,
much. Yep.
That's a little better than the award I've got for him, the Silver Mute Button Award.
Oh.
Yeah. Tom has a love-hate relationship with that mute button. I don't know how many times we've like, hey, Tom? He's like, oh, shit, I was on mute.
And then another time, I'll have like 30 minutes of editing out of Tom whittling something. I assume that's what he's doing because it's like, I'm like, is homeboy over there carving some shit or what? So like I got to blank out his channel.
And we love you, Tom, and we know that you work hard, and that's why you bring the snackies to the podcast. But it's the most random assortment of snacks. It'll be like, hey, here's a Twinkie and a health bar and some pure water.
Right.
Tonight sucked. I had 3 Dove chocolates. That's it.
What?
That's so random. It's always random.
And a sparkle ice drink.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, he has a complicated relationship with the mute button. That's very true. Very complicated.
I try to keep it off to help you, Mark, and then I forget sometimes. And then I think I have it off, but I don't sometimes. So,
yeah. Well, we appreciate you, buddy. All right, I got a backup for Tom.
Uh-oh.
This is a nice one.
Okay.
This is the Eternal Optimist Award.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tom is a guy with a huge heart, and it would be wrong to suggest that he doesn't get grumpy like all of us. But homeboy's got a heart of gold, and I only hope to be the voice of support and positivity to Tom that he has been to all 3 of us at times. And I see him do the same with other people. So,
see, now I'm going to cry.
well, just like trying to be a good person, man. And we can all see it. And I think we all appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Very giving. And I mean, like, in the nice way of giving. We've all kind of seen, people give in the community for maybe a little, what are you going to give back? Did you see me give? Tom just helps for the sake of helping. Nothing else, nothing less.
Yep.
And that is seen and appreciated, and it's wholesome, and I don't know. I appreciate that.
I feel like it's paying back. I mean, over the years, I've been gifted so much and given so much knowledge. I feel like it's almost my duty to share. So I do what I can.
Well, and I think your customers see it, right? To me, when I, am reading stuff in your Facebook group and whatever, it's clear. People can see that you're doing things to be a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, that's not necessarily giving shit away, right? That stuff's very nice and usually extremely heartfelt. And sometimes it's just, hey, this happened and you're there and with a supportive voice. And I think done that with all of us. And I know with tons of other people as well. So high five.
Oh yeah, it is appreciated. And you've been a good friend to me for a long time. And, you know how I can get sometimes. And the things that I think are faults, you find as strengths. And I appreciate that because sometimes I'm like, man, I am slow. This is taking me forever. And you'd be like, well, you're doing a lot of shit. You put a lot of detail in it. And that's why I'm like, oh yeah, it's fucking, I like that perspective. That goes with that optimism thing that I don't sometimes see.
Yep.
So,
Guys,
are you crying yet?
not quite.
Almost.
Then we
Let's
got
get them tears, boys. Let's get them.
We got to get our Barbara Walters moment here.
That's right. Anybody else have a backup for Tom?
I don't know. What can we do?
I have a second backup.
Oh, geez.
It's the Where the Hell is Tom Award.
It's 6:04. Where the hell is Tom?
Where the hell is Tom? He knows we're recording tonight. Text message, maybe some
it's
Facebook
hard.
messaging.
Shutting down the shop because I normally work until after 6, so getting everything shut down takes longer than planned always. And I got to make snacks, and it's tough.
You had to make a pile of 3 Dove bars.
Today
Right.
there was no excuse. I was just late.
Yeah.
Yeah, the morning reminder, we're doing today. We are?
That's today? Little crack in his voice. It's like, oh, shit.
I lose track of time pretty easy.
Really?
I can feel you there.
I got, family members that plan stuff like a year away, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Right,
Most
right,
of the
right.
time. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to the work, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got one backup for you, too.
there you go.
okay.
The Golden Choo Choo Award.
Right?
I think we need to recognize the work the Choo Choo Train has put into our podcast. It's probably given us at least 20 minutes of solid time.
Easily.
So
I try to pause it out now, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
you know what? I kind of miss it when it's not around.
Yeah.
I let it run today.
The train makes it in the show. It did. Was it? I don't know. Was it the intro? When did the train first appear on Mark of the Maker?
Probably the first one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
My
at this
shop's
point,
not
it's
very
just
far from-
always been there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There you go. Well, we joked at the very beginning, first time it happened, about, well, I guess the train is now part of the show.
It's literally like I can throw a rock and hit the train tracks.
Yeah.
Not the train. Nobody needs to come see me. If I
No,
wanted
no,
to.
no,
That's
no, 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 no.
hypothetical.
Yeah. We don't need any Mike Questenberry people coming to see you.
Right.
No rail inspectors.
Those railroad bulls will split your fucking wig.
That's right. All right. Is that it for Tom?
I think so.
Now I just want to get a Monopoly train piece and spray paint it gold and send it to him.
On a little teeny plaque.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, Sean. Sean has to take the stage.
Oh boy.
He's whipping his hair around in circles.
No way. There would be a fan in place so I could Tawny Katana it like I'm in a Whitesnake video.
Sean, I got a good one for you. I'm going to give you the Adage Award.
Ooh.
Nope.
You're not a man of a lot of words, but when you say some shit, they mean a lot, and they're usually in some form of that's cleaner than a wet panda and a birthday suit with a pair of Twinkies in each hand.
Wow.
I kind of want a Twinkie now.
And they are usually just pearls of wisdom.
The Adage Award. I like that. I like it.
Mhm.
Thank you. I consider myself a collector of colloquialisms. So.
There
it is.
Yeah.
There it is. They're always
A
golden.
beautiful
Just-
example.
It's like the grandpa that always has something cool to say, and you're like, damn it, I want to be that cool.
That wise, the wise comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Too funny. So I went with the Silver Tongue Devil Award.
Ooh.
Who knew at the beginning of Mark of the Maker that the least vocal member of the crew would emerge as the hands down fan fave and master? That's in all caps, people. Master of the advertising read.
Oh, yeah. That is true.
And like Michael said, he doesn't use a lot of words, but he makes them count. How many times have we heard, more Sean, more Sean, more Sean?
Just today.
Just today we did. That's exactly right.
Mhm. That was
It's an
me.
anomaly.
But it's not just today.
He's got people on payroll, people.
Mm-hmm.
It's Russian disinformation.
That's right. Yeah. He's got Russian troll bots out there chanting more Sean.
Got meme farms.
Yeah. But Sean's shit is smooth like butter when he delivers it. So Silver Tongue Devil Award all day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. We all kind of went in the same direction here.
Yeah.
I went with the Superlative Vocab Award.
Ooh.
Oh.
I like that.
Sean always pulls out words that make me like put my mute button on and Google away. I feel smarter afterwards, but during I don't feel as smart.
Right.
Once I have to look that up, then I know.
Yep.
He's also got that smooth voice also. There was a toss-up between Sean and Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a fair amount said they couldn't tell you and I apart. And I'm like, all right. Probably not helpful for either
Not
one of
this
us.
shit again.
Right.
But, Sean also has a fair bit of pulling some shit out of his ass type of stuff. Like, we'll talk about a random knife from 1982, and he'll pull the name out, and you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's got the knowledge there.
Yeah. Can't remember what I did yesterday or what I saw 3 weeks ago. And he's all like, yeah, that was Thomas the Train.
Sean is some combination of a savant and a student of the game. Maybe both.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a savant. If you mean, the idiot.
I came up with a backup also.
Let it rip. I got one too.
I came up with Sean is most likely to ruin a life with the sale of a knife.
I'll own that one. I like that.
I figured that was one that he would like and be happy about,
Yeah. Grinning ear to ear on that one.
Right?
Yeah. I like that.
That's solid.
Yep. I don't need to sell a lot of knives. I just want to be at the point where people are willing to ruin their life to buy my knives. I went with I called this, because I think you guys have seen this clip before, the Industry Scarface Award.
The Industry Scarface Award.
Yeah. So there's a movie called Half Baked that Tom's probably never seen, although he does have a deep love of the ganja.
We learned.
Yeah, we learned the hard way, unfortunately. So there's a movie called Half Baked, and there's a character in that movie called Scarface, and he was working at a burger joint, and he just simply had enough. And one of his coworkers was bugging him, and it finally popped. And this is like an old school Burger King place with the microphone coming out of the counter on like the flexible metal stalk. And he shoves the guy out of the way, grabs the microphone, and goes down the line pointing at people in the store. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you, I'm out.
I love that scene.
I love that part.
Throws the microphone down and walks out of the restaurant. So
Didn't he throw a hamburger or something?
he threw a hamburger in a customer's face. Yep. And the one person he said, you're cool, was an old lady standing in line. No teeth. Yeah. So that's Sean, the Industry Scarface Award.
I thought it was going to have something to do with a mountain of cocaine.
I did too. I was like, where are you going with this?
I expected that to come to mind, which may have been part of why I liked it, but
It works on levels, so.
yeah. So that's Sean's approach to the industry. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay, you're all right. And fuck you.
Have a burger.
Yeah, right.
Man, as long as you're not trying to fuck me in the ass, I'm a pretty easy dude to get along
No,
with.
very true. Very true.
Now, the one thing Sean is not going to get an award for is his internet.
No,
No awards on that one.
no. Sean is definitely the most likely to disappear from the scene randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I mean, he does live in Ohio.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's happened at least 4 times just recording this episode.
Exactly.
sometimes it's the internet trying to suppress his knowledge.
It's the now out of control forces of AI trying to hold a man down.
Mm-hmm.
What if he's just always been the most talkative son of a bitch ever, and he's just been cut out?
Right. Technical glitches.
Dude, it has happened a few times, like the Jade episode.
Yeah.
There was so many, oh God, my internet was horrible on that one to where I just had to quit. And before it totally shit the bed, I had tried to jump in like 6 times with stuff because he was talking about shit that I had a deep knowledge of and we could have riffed on. And I couldn't even fucking participate.
Right.
Well, that's annoying.
Frustrating.
So frustrating.
My backup was teacher of the year.
Oh,
Oh, well, thank
That's a
you.
great one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I had to give it up. I actually had that for a while when taught that whole month during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, I named myself that. Abby loved that.
Right.
Abby didn't get it. You got it.
Of course. I mean, if I'm going to award it, I'm going to
That's
give it
right.
myself.
That's right.
Makes sense.
He's like Michael Scott giving himself the world's best boss mug.
100%.
Yeah.
I even started drinking coffee out of her little mug thing that someone would give her some time back. I don't. 18 years, guys. I don't know how. 18 years of marriage of this.
Yeah.
So pass that on to you.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll carry it high and proud.
Also, I'm pretty sure she stopped listening about episode 6.
Yeah. No,
I'm
no
good.
doubt. Yeah.
She got 6 episodes in further than my wife.
She tried.
It's really funny. I told Amy, she's like, what are you guys recording for this 100th episode? And I said, we're going to talk about some stuff and then we're going to do these awards. And that's when I asked the girls for suggestions on the names for the awards. And so she got home tonight right before we were recording and she's like, she called me and she's, is like one of your awards like thanking your families for being so patient with this whole podcast thing? I'm like, no.
Oh, that is a good call though.
It really is. The seemingly infinite patience award goes to all of our families for putting up with this nonsense of hours and hours and hours and hours of our lives doing this thing.
But
I don't know if that was a question or a suggestion.
It was both.
Mm-hmm.
even they'll never know they got an award though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Isn't
should've
that
listened.
the irony of it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, people, we thank you on air.
Guess you're not going to get your award money.
Yeah. No certificate for you, people.
Oh, you know what? The real award is the friends we made along the way. Probably the listeners, actually.
Yeah.
The listeners get the biggest award because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be at episode 100. If nobody listened, we would have got frustrated and possibly committed group suicide.
It would have just been done over the phone.
I'm out on the suicide thing.
Tom's a hard pass.
Well, I mean, this is culty, dude, so
Oh, okay.
you're going to die.
Wow.
I listened to the Jonestown Last podcast on the left yesterday. Just look over me.
You're either coming with us or we're taking you with us, mister.
Do I get some
That's,
cool tennis shoes and a tracksuit?
Dude, I listened to the Heaven's Gate one the day before. I've been on a big cult kick here lately.
Yeah.
And then I
That was
listened to
a-
the Om Shinrikyo cult one. And
That was a heavy one. Their Jonestown was like 3 episodes at 3 hours apiece or something.
five
Five.
episodes.
It was.
What
Whiz.
what podcast is that?
The last podcast on the left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Giving them a little bump, little podcast bump.
Yeah, like they need.
Right.
They'll probably return the favor.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll know all about this.
Yeah. Yep. But for real, big thanks to all of our listeners. Thanks for listening along with us and giving us your feedback. And people have written these great reviews for us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We do actually have a YouTube channel, which is kind of weird. I've mentioned that a couple times. A lot of people listen to us on YouTube. I was really surprised at the number.
It's a thing. I didn't
our-
realize it.
Our most listened episode on YouTube, which is always funny to me when we publish because it's basically like the cover art stationary with audio playing. But I think it's just easier to access for people sometimes, or they can get to it from work or whatever. There's all kinds of different reasons. Our most listened to there is Randall.
Really?
Yep. And we have a bunch of comments on the Randall episode there on YouTube. Well, a bunch for us.
Was that like 3 or what?
3.
Yeah, like maybe
Yeah.
3 or 5 or 6. But anyway, kind of fun fact.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to go over there next time I'm on YouTube looking up how to fix something that broke in my house.
Yeah, the busted dryer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, fellas. The Sharpies.
That was fun.
That was fun.
So another 5 years, we get to do another one.
Dude.
This is the Centennial episode, man.
100. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It is.
Not just a game we played in
Syndication.
college.
Right. Yep. All right. Well, thanks again to our friends on Patreon for your support and all of our folks that have been helping us directly, AMX and the Portland show and the Giant Mouse guys. Thanks all for your help. George has been with us for a long time, man.
Oh, yeah.
True believer.
Years at this point, right?
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple years.
Whew. Talk about lack of ROI.
No, we should be telling George that he has excellent business practices, not questioning them.
Excellent investment.
Right. Clearly, this is where everybody should be spending their advertising dollars.
Yeah.
Waiting on MeUndies or something to come around.
Right.
And remember when manscaping?
Yeah, I was going to say, we got offered Manscaped.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Forgot about that one.
They just knew there was a bunch of hairy dudes that listen.
Mm-hmm.
And Harry, we stayed.
Yeah, we didn't take on manscaping. I think Birch was interested in that. I think he wanted to manscape.
There was a ton of podcasts that took that on.
Yeah.
We got free equipment too, right? Seems like that was part of the deal.
Yeah.
That was the only part of the deal.
The compensation was manscaping equipment. It's the idea that we would have to share it. Ew.
Yeah, just one set.
Exactly.
Ugh, that's what.
Yeah. Hard pass, fam. Well, yeah, we've had a bunch of interesting offers. Thank goodness we don't care about money.
We've stayed
Yeah.
true to our principles.
Sort of.
Suck it, well.
Much to our own demise. All right. Thanks, fellas, for talking again. 123rd time, all in.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
It was okay.
And we'll
Quite fun.
Yeah, and we'll dive into some more of the stuff that folks, at least some folks, enjoy and keep it coming at you for a while.
Yeah. Appreciate it. We'll be back in business here.
Let us know what you'd like to hear about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't give us
Yeah.
awards because I feel like they're going to be hurtful.
We're always open to suggestions.
Yep.
I'm down for awards.
Mm.
I feel
I don't
really
know if that's a box we
good
want to open.
about this.
Tom starts out feeling like he's down for awards, but I don't know. This could end poorly.
Mhm.
Probably. You're probably right.
Could end poorly. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Later.
Thanks all.
Thanks, folks. Take care.
To learn more about our makers, you can find Tom Crine on the web at crineknives.net, in his Facebook group, Crine Knives, or in his Instagram account, at Crine Knives. For Michael Birch, check birchtreeblades.com, Facebook group Birch Tree Blade Works, or Michael's Instagram at birchtreeblades. For myself and the Raygun Bead Project, we're on the web at raygundivision.com. We have a Facebook group called Raygun Division, or my personal Instagram, at msteiner. For those interested in photos, references from the show, or some discussion about the show itself, you can find us on the web at markofthemaker.com, in a Facebook group called Mark of the Maker, or on our Instagram, at Mark of the Maker. Last but not least, the ultra cool and haunting background music we use for the show is a piece called Noir Guitar by Stevie's Amp Shack, found at the Free Music Archive and licensed under Creative Commons CC BY 4.0. Thanks for listening.